Hello. It has been a while since I posted a video. It is like July 27th, I think. And I can hear my frog croaking actually. The garden is just heaving. And I thought I would take you for a little stroll. This is all weeds, except for the feverfew. And this is the wildflower garden, and this was literally thrown down as like, if we get to building the deck, I won't care if this is all ripped out. And it's actually stunningly beautiful and I love it. And I've got this on what I think is a Rose of Sharon, which is actually now being eaten by something. But I kind of hope that this is a perennial, because that is the most beautiful flower I have seen in a while. And the poppies continue to come up, but so does the ragweed, and so do the thistles. We've gotten about 4 kilos of raspberries this year. And they were amazing. At one point, the calendula got so seed head heavy that I ended up just chopping it all about 6 inches down so that we can still keep getting flowers. You've got a cucumber I just saw. I'll have to check if there's more later. Cucumbers, the leaves make my skin angry, so I have to be careful with that. So this goldenrod fell over and it just hangs there now, which is fun. I just pick it up when I go by. I did harvest 1 bag of potatoes as well. So we've been harvesting raspberries for a week now. They're amazing. I'm gonna probably have to come out tomorrow and get them again. The potatoes are very obviously dying back. And we got not a lot of potatoes, and I never really do, but it's fine. I've had a lot of sunflowers pop up. These beans are done. When I can handle the heat, I'll actually pull up the plants and pick all the beans off. But there should be another wave now. And I have fallen in love with these fancy French beans because I love how compact they grow. And I'm gonna do them again next year. I've had to start heavily watering with the sprinkler because we're in a very intense drought. Got all my garlic out. I got 50 heads of garlic. Look at how beautiful this is. I actually came out to get chamomile and see what else was ready, and there's another flush of yarrow. And I have a ton of comfrey that needs to be turned into compost tea. I did a heavy watering of the grapes last night, and they are starting to grow again, which is good. Look at how beautiful these are. These are like the most perfect example of the Fibonacci sequence on top. They're so cool. I've gotten well over 30 zucchinis so far. Here's a nice one. Perfect size. I've got lots of eggplants. I never really know when these are ready. This is actually my first year growing so many of these. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask one of my gardening friends. The tomatoes have been struggling with blossom end rot, which is another reason why I'm heavily watering now. The first wave I should have gotten were all garbage. I thought that they were getting enough water, but apparently they weren't. So the second wave is looking much better, and there's no sign of blossom end rot. I'm not going to worry too much about harvesting tomatoes today. I'm going to water again and see how we go. Here's the corn. This is like well over my head. Hold on, can I flip this? Hold on. Well over my head. So cool. So this one is the popping corn. And then these ones are the decorative corn. They're much smaller. They're about up to my head, shoulders area. We got our first chili the other day, gave it to my mom, and my big peppers are still doing really well. I'm very excited about how well the peppers and chilies have done this year. See if I can find one. The one I got from my mom the other day was purple. It was really pretty. I don't see any. But the climbing beans are doing really well in here. There's beans in between every bed here. Is that tomato? Yeah, so see, there's the blossom end rot. And basically what I did is I went and vigorously shook the bush, and anything that fell off because it was sickly, I just let it go. The gooseberries are ready. I'll get them tomorrow as well. And then, this is the white peach, and this looks incredible. Last year I planted this one, and it was basically a stick with 3 leaves for the entire summer. So I read the guide from Whiffletree this year, and I did the heavy pruning, and it was worth it because it was so healthy. Like, it came as the stick and a couple, like I cut it back to just this stem, and this stem, and it's really leafed out. And on this side of the chilies, you can really see how many are growing, and I'm gonna get a great harvest. I'm very excited. Have to find out what to do with them all. And then, we've got like volunteer daisies. Didn't plant those, but they're very welcome. And this bed is starting to do better now. A lot of these tomatoes were not getting fruit either, and they didn't have the blossom end rot, but they weren't making... Oh, can you hear Bermuda? I don't know if the camera picked that up, but he's croaking beside me. So doing more watering has definitely started setting more fruit, and I don't know if you can tell. Like, it is absolutely crazy how many birdhouse gourds are on this vine now. I'm very excited. I'll be able to share with my friends. And there's also a cucumber growing in amongst this, and I have to keep checking to see if there's any cucumbers on it. And then the cucamelons are actually making little cucamelons. I haven't found like a ripe one yet, but I don't also, maybe I should look up how to tell when they're ripe, because we ate one the other day and they were bitter, so I'll have to see about that. And then over at the pond, a lot of the flowers that I planted have sprouted. There's a bunch of wildflowers in here. It's like a alternative lawn mix, and they're doing well. We've got bachelor buttons coming up here. I've got nasturtiums starting to thrive here. And this was an amaranth, and I knew it was amaranth when it was smaller, and I wanted to see what it turned into, and I did not expect it to get this big. But I don't know, I'm just gonna leave it, I guess. I might cut like these branches so I can still walk up to the pond. This is creeping baby's breath, I think. And then this is the thyme. Look how beautiful that is. This is the Nemophilia. They haven't flowered yet, but they're doing really well. And I just saw Bermuda, but he dove under the water, so I don't know if I'll be able to get him on camera. But, oh, that's cool. The frog spit is starting to flower. Go show you. Look at these delicate little flowers. Aren't they beautiful? I don't see where Bermuda came up, so he might be hiding from me. He likes to sit where the pond lights are because he catches bugs. Oh, look, we have a sunflower. Hello. Aren't you beautiful? This plum is doing really well. I think this is a type of, is this a Stible? I actually don't know. Look at this one's a mutant. They're supposed to look like this. I'm not sure what this is, but this is the plant that my best friend saved seeds from Addie's funeral to grow in the garden. So that's neat that it's so beautiful. This is a volunteer sunflower that just showed up. This is another amaranth. I'm going to pull that one out. It's too big. These recovered nicely, so they'll self-seed. It is, I need to weed, but it is way too hot here. It's 32 during the day right now, so I will get to that when I can. These are the Hopi purple dye sunflowers, and they're doing really well. And this weeping mulberry keeps making mulberries, and they're so, so good. I'm so pleased that I have 3 of these in the garden. Blueberries are still mad. I gotta water them for a second. But the sweet peas on top of them are doing really well. And they smell incredible. See, this is what happened. They got too desiccated and they're like tiny. They taste like nothing. Some of the sweet peas are dying back from the heat too. That blueberry is very happy though. I've continued to harvest herbs from here, and I just watered last night. This is a volunteer tomato. Lots of chamomile to harvest tonight. And I have to start planning my gardens for next year, because then I can figure out where I want to throw down the walking onions. This is all, not even going to pretend this is not just all weeds. This is actually intentionally left. It's goldenrod for dying. This is a weed that's exploded. This is a ground cherry that self-seeded, and I'm just leaving it to get the berries off of. There's randomly corn growing in here now. This was something I picked up at a talk from the Horticultural Society at like half the price, and it's such a gorgeous plant. I can see why people invest in them. I thought it would be like a flush of flowers and then be done, but no, totally worth it. My logs for the Greenwood arch. And then in here, I'll show you this is what a working garage looks like. It's not Instagram worthy, but here's all the garlic drying. I'll let it dry for another week, and then I'll trim the stems, trim the roots, dust off the bulbs, and braid them into braids to share with the family. So yeah, there's the late July garden in the middle of a heat wave. Oh look, the first straw flowers are up. These are so cool, they feel like straw. You hear that? And I think I'm actually going to cut the mallow down soon because it's almost done flowering and it looks raggedy. But right now I'm going to harvest my calendula and my chamomile. I'm going to turn on the sprinkler and I'm going to go play a board game with my husband. So yeah, it's really interesting because I've always kind of been a little bit sad I didn't have more space, but it's really starting to dawn on me with climate change and the changing temperatures that I can get a lot of food out of this space, and I can also keep it watered without like difficulty. So this looks really lush, but if you look around Hastings County right now, most people, like we've been through Frankfurt recently, Sterling recently, down in Tyendinaga, absolute barren desert, everything is brown. So there are benefits to, like huge benefits to having a garden space that is this small and just optimizing how you grow in it. And I'm really, really happy with the yields that I'm getting despite it being such a bad drought year. Like even, like this is like a micro example, but like my lawn, very green. There's a lot of clover, which is really resilient to drought. And then you look at the neighbors, try not to like invade their privacy, but like look how dead that is. So there are big benefits to gardening in small spaces, and I just really, really like it. Okay, hope you're having a good weekend and your week goes well, and I'll check in with you guys later. Take care.